So finding discontinuities is just a matter of finding asymptotes and holes, because those are the only places that make a function discontinuous. So in order to do that, we're going to deal with factoring. We factor the top, factor the bottom, except in the case of A, which, thinking back to what we dealt with asymptotes, we have no x on the bottom, therefore we can have no asymptotes. As well, if we can't have any asymptotes, there can't be any potential holes in that graph. So A actually has no discontinuities. B we'll factor the top and bottom. The top, we need to multiply to -8 and add to 2, so that'll be x plus 4 and x minus 2. Bottom will multiply to 12 and add to 7, so x plus 3 and x plus 4. Looking at this in terms of holes, we need identical factors top and bottom. That would be the x plus 4's, which would tell us we would have a hole where x plus 4 equals 0, or at x equals -4. Asymptotes happen on non-identical factors, so the x plus 3 would give us an asymptote at x equals -3, because we would set x plus 3 equal to 0 and solve it and get -3. Moving over to C, factor the top, factor the bottom. On top, we'll get x minus 3 and x minus 1. The bottom, we don't need to factor, it's already 1, so the degree 1 expression on the bottom. We have the repeated factor, top and bottom, so that tells us we have a hole, which would happen to be at x equals 3. There are no factors on the bottom that don't appear on the top. We've actually accounted for all the factors on the bottom, so this function would actually have no asymptotes. D, again, will factor. On top, x minus 4, x plus 3. Bottom, x plus 1 and x plus 1. We don't actually have any factors identical to top and bottom, so this function will have no holes. We've got this factor on the bottom, which will give us an asymptote at x equals -1. As well, in fact, the other factor on the bottom would also give us a second asymptote at x equals -1, but even though it would appear that there's two asymptotes, since they're at the same spot, there's really only one asymptote here.